when I go on Twitter, on Instagram, I be seeing these hashtags. But when I get on Facebook, people post a status with a hashtag. Yeah. And I'm like, really though? Really though? Facebook? Man, let him know, man. Man, this is what I see every time I log in, bro. Real, bro.
Hashtag cool, hashtag swag, hashtag new jeans, pound snapback, hashtag turned up, hashtag thuggin', hashtag pissed off, pound toilet scrubbing, hashtag old folks, hashtag crazy, pound do this for my dogs, hashtag rabies, hashtag child support, pound baby mama at the crib starting drama, hashtag wifey, pound boo thing, pound OMG, people in their mood swings, hashtag focus, hashtag winning, hashtag about this money, pound go get it, hashtag sneakerhead, hashtag hero, pound blowing up the track like a torpedo, hashtag Kit Kat, pound honey buns, hashtag thirsty for Capri Suns, hashtag this, hashtag that, hashtag blank, pound, where they do that at? Hashtag this, hashtag that, hashtag blank, pound, where they do that at?
Hashtag socks, hashtag vest. Now pound that number in, cause I say so. Hashtag shoot, hashtag shootout. Now I watch these suckers run cause I bust back. Hashtag cooling, hashtag freezer. Pound man, I think you thirsty. Hashtag bright, hashtag scar. Pound King Parker on the beat, boy.
Hashtag this, hashtag that, hashtag blank, pound, where they do that at? Hashtag this, hashtag that, hashtag blank, pound, where they do that at? Hashtag new nails, hashtag tacky, hashtag cocoa butter, pound still ashy, hashtag party, hashtag wasted, pound dirty bathroom pics, but she ain't naked, hashtag student, hashtag artist, hashtag gassed up, pound I just farted, hashtag pretty, hashtag cute, pound no filter, hashtag hashtag squirrels, pound PNN, hashtag with your girl, pound all her friends, hashtag haters hate, pound favorite phrase, pound empty wallet cause I got my bills paid, hashtag this, hashtag that, hashtag blank, pound, where they do that at? Hashtag this, hashtag that, hashtag blank, pound, where they do that at?